What's up, guys? It's your boy Fiskitti here, and welcome back to another video here on the internet. So, before I show you guys what I've been working on, I realized there's something pretty cool that we can make with one of the mods that I didn't realize we could make. Let me get the bamboo. There we go. Glowstone, 2 bamboo, and 6 paper. And that gives us, love that, a paper lantern. Isn't that cool? I didn't realize these things existed. It's gonna be a while before we can get as much of these as I would actually like, but it's nice to know they're there, and they're gonna be a pretty central kind of design element for the Faeschellin, for everything going on with Faeschellin. And speaking of, so I've been working over here on a little kind of alcove. So I still haven't been able to do a time lapse, but I went ahead and started working on this after the last video. So we've got several little like moss bushes here, and we've got the azalea leaves or saplings underneath and the moss is over it to keep it from growing, and it has this nice little bush effect. And then also we have, I believe it's oak. Love that sound. I believe it's oak right here, oak wood, and then just some basic grass, and I added in a little coarse dirt on the path. And yeah, we have a little kind of park area tucked in between some buildings here. Honestly, I initially expected this to be a lot bigger than it turned out being. But I would maybe at some point like to make something like this, like a little alcove or something sort of like this that's bigger. But I have something not similar in itself, but with this that is tied to a similar concept up there. So I went ahead and built this roof as well. I need to fix that. So I did 2x2 down for, I think it's 9 layers, or not 2x2, 2 blocks deep, and then 9 layers of that. So it's sort of like a terrace of thatch, like the medieval stuff they put on roof houses. If you don't know what that is, and you've been watching me for a long time, then go study medieval architecture. It's so interesting. But yeah, so these thatch pads, I don't remember what are these called? Kyambasu no tapetto. Canvas carpet. Canvas rug. Anyway, they look like thatch, and they're basically thatch, so that's what we're using them for. But I did kind of the thatch, and I experimented around with the stairs for the kind of roof part, and like initially I had them right side up, and I ended up going with them upside down to kind of add a little bit of depth to the design. And then to fill in these gaps under here, we did some oak wood slabs, or oak plank slabs. Yeah, those things. And then along the sides, I have kind of an idea for what I'm going to do with the rest of this, but for now, along the sides we have basalt. What kind of basalt is this? Polished basalt. We have polished basalt along here, and then the spruce fences, and the blue lanterns and the non-blue lanterns, kind of in a pattern along here. Honestly, I didn't initially mean to do the alternating pattern. It just kind of made the most sense, I guess. It kind of worked out with the spacing and everything. I didn't realize that this, I think it's 29 blocks from this fence to that other fence, and I didn't realize you could space it out so well. But yeah, I ended up to I don't like that for some reason, being able to get on the fences. like with the little gap here. But anyway, I feel like, actually, now that I think about it, I haven't actually looked from the other side, but I wanted to kind of put these fences here to give kind of a certain like tooth design, sort of like the ramparts on a medieval castle. But yeah, and I'll just mosey on up into free cam real quick for you guys. So this is the thatch roof that I've been working on, and you know, it like I was looking at it earlier. This genuinely looks better than I expected because it's such a in such a blocky game. It's difficult to have kind of like a smooth diagonal shape, and I feel like, considering that we have that limitation, this came out really well. I still need to fix that. That's bothering me so bad. Don't worry, I'll do that. But anyway, my idea that I was talking about in the last episode. So the idea I was talking about in the last episode involved taking a little building like that and kind of having it, hello duo, and having it kind of come out of the wall of the building and have the supporting pillars, the peripheral or external supporting pillars, balance themselves on this roof right here. And initially I was going to make this roof like a terrace, sort of like we did with the kind of park alcove area over there, but I ended up doing thatch. And honestly, oh, I thought we were about to fall. Honestly, probably going to use this design again at some other point. I really like how this turned out. I think it looks shockingly good for the roof, and just for like the resources and the limitations we have. I'm not certain on everything I'm going to do over here, but for now I'm just going to start with a basic deep slate stone brick layer, sort of like we have over there. I'm gonna be honest, my people meter has been so low lately. Like, I just haven't felt like interacting with people at all lately. Like my social battery just went kaput for some reason. And which is probably part of the reason I seem probably a little less ecstatic in this video than I think I do in my other videos. But I just I've been going to the Starbucks recently to draw on stuff. The son of a gun. The local Starbucks to draw a lot recently. And I think it's too much noise for me. And it's not really the people, it's just so much just so much like audio input, and is too much for my brain to handle. And I think I just kind of went kaput, and I like haven't felt like socializing or talking to people for the past week. I need to get more of these. Oh my god. Give me a freaking heart attack. Don't blow up my stuff. Golly. I need to light up this place more. Not gonna lie, I forgot these things attacked you for a second. That's a cool effect. And it's still on me. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. They should really introduce a chainsaw so that you can cut up your wood into stairs and slabs as well without having to use a crafting table like they have with the stone cutter. You know, something I've been thinking about lately is how, like, everyone wants to be like a YouTuber or some sort of social media creator. And I don't like that. Which, like, I'm not saying people can't, you know, like, chase their dreams or whatever. But I really feel like there's... It really feels like when, you know, something like social media is so oversaturated. Like, I don't know. It feels like you shouldn't be asking for more social media creators. And yet, I saw a video where someone was like, you know, more people should be YouTubers. You should be a YouTuber if you want to. Quote unquote, a YouTuber. And it's like, I've kind of realized the issue isn't really that there are too many, like, YouTubers or what have you. The issue is more so that everyone, especially, like, the younger generations, Gen Z included, my generation, like, it seems like pretty much everyone wants to be a YouTuber because that's all they've, like, grown up with. And the thing I've kind of realized is, like, there's for, you know, more creatives. And at the end of the day, I feel like if you know, aren't quote unquote called or destined, so to speak, to be some sort of artist or YouTuber or what have you, then either you're not going to make it or you're not going to enjoy it. Because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of, like, kids and young people especially, really kind of just want to make... Wow, we're already out of these. Really kind of just want to make, like, do YouTube or whatever as a career, because, one, a lot of people, I don't think, want to work. I mean, like, you know, who does? But social media, similar to, like, rock stars or what have you back in, like, the 80s and 90s, starting a garage band is like a it's a way, it's something to latch on to avoid work. And the other reason is because I think a lot of people just aren't shown all the opportunities there are for work. Like, I think a lot of people don't, like, a lot of younger people aren't really taught or shown that, like, you can go to work and just come home and play video games, and, like, that's, or maybe not just, but, you know, like it's okay to love something like video games and to enjoy that while not working, playing video games 24/7 or something like that, you know? And it's also, like, obviously there are always going to be some people who, you know, make creative works purely as a method of making money and not actually as an art form. I think we can see that with the entirety of, like, the movie industry and the video game industry right now. And frankly, they're on their way to collapsing. So you see what happens there, I guess. And so, like, I feel like if enough people you know, like the people who actually make art and make video games and, you know, write books and make films and things like that purely out of a passion for it, you know, the more, oftentimes anyway, the more successful those things will be, and the more like creativity without a lack of actual passion for the thing you're creating usually doesn't last, you know? And I think the people who do just genuinely want to create something are, like, I think the more of those sorts of people we have, the better off the creative industry, and honestly just like the world at large will be. Like, I feel like there's too much like, oh, let me, you know, make a crap ton of videos so I can start a business as a way to generate money without, you know, actually providing something valuable to the world. And like without actually, we're already out again. And it's like, it's using, like there's a difference between, you know, creating something purely to generate money and creating something out of like an actual desire to create. And the two aren't necessarily antithetical. It's just that, you know, when you forsake art for trying to make money, you get a lot of the slop and just creative junk we have in a lot of our modern games and media right now. But if yeah, I mean, I'm kind of saying the same thing over and over again at this point. Just like, if we just keep having people who make and create purely out of a love for creation, and the more people of those there are who are creating, and the less people there are who are purely focused on getting money and like finding a way to manipulate creative work to generate the most revenue or what have you, the less of the latter of those two and the more of the first, the more of the creative type we have, the more I think, like, the more room there is for creativity, and the more room there is for people who actually want to create, I guess. But yeah, like, for me, I like genuinely really enjoy making videos. There's just something really satisfying about it. And it can be kind of hard to separate, like, am I just doing this, like, this creative thing for money, or like to get big, or like to boost my ego or something like that? Or am I actually doing it just because I love to make videos? And, you know, I can, you know, like, an artist can create art and still expect to like, if you're doing art as a career, or even in some cases just doing it enough, like it's still reasonable to expect to get enough to survive and to, like, that was fun, to like survive and to, you know, like put food on this table and stuff. But like, I think there's just, I think with the advent of social media and media in general, really in the last several decades, in the last 100-ish years, where was I going with that thought? Oh, that was so close. But yeah, it's just like with creative work, the way it is now, I don't know, it's, I still don't remember what I was trying to say. Yeah, I think I was just saying, like, being like a big this creator or big that creator, like, want to be a big writer, want to be a big film director, want to be a big rock star. It's like that has kind of becomes like being one of those, pursuing one of those creative endeavors as like a career and wanting to be recognized for it has become synonymous with like having a big ego and wanting to get big without doing any actual work. And I think that's kind of stupid. I think, you know, like the people who view it like that are just like I said earlier, like either they're going to hate it or they're not going to make it, or they'll just be grinding at like social media the same way they would if they were working like in a normal, in like a paper making company, you know? It's just grind, and it's not necessarily tied to the creative process in the same way it is for someone who just vigorously wants to create something. And like, even if you don't get, you know, recognized for being a creative, for creating something, you know, it's like, it shouldn't really be the point necessarily. Like, at its core, I think creation is really for the person making it, you know? And if someone creates something that other people enjoy, then oftentimes, you know, it's like people will try to help that succeed and try to help the person make more of it, you know? Like that's the way movies work. Like, we pay to watch movies because we enjoy them and we find value in watching a movie. And because enough people find value in that, it's like movie creators are able to like make a career out of it, you know? I don't know, just some food for thought. Those were some very scrambled, very loose thoughts, but hopefully they're thought-provoking to some degree, or I don't know, relatable maybe. You know, at its core too, like, a job, basically, the way I see it, is something needs to get done and someone is willing to give someone something for doing it. And sometimes within a society, that thing doesn't necessarily have to, you know, put food into the economy or what have you. Put food on the market, or like do something ultra practical for a society to consider it worthwhile and to help make it happen. I think it's still pretty big, but I kind of think it's maybe a minority, or at the very least, I know like not everyone wants to just grow up and get paid for not really doing anything or to, you know, be like a genuine creative. It's like there are different kinds of people all around, you know? And I don't think, so long as we, as a society, make people aware that certain jobs exist, which, frankly, our school system is horrible at doing right now. But so long as we, as a society, make people aware of, like, make people aware that, you know, certain types of jobs still exist, then, like, those jobs are going to have workers, you know? Like, just because so many people are focused on the creative sphere doesn't mean there aren't plenty of people who are practical in nature as well. And it's also a very distinct possibility that really There's so few left. It's also a pretty distinct possibility that the younger generation who just wants to be TikTok famous is like a minority. I think it's still pretty big, but it's like a loud minority specifically. And I think it's still pretty big, but what the freak is this? No. No. Why? Why with the vertical slabs, man? Just why? That was clutch. But anyway, I've been rambling on for far too long. If you guys enjoyed and thought this was worth your time, consider leaving a like. Dadgummit. And maybe even consider subscribing. That would be so lovely. It would make my heart gladden. If you have any thoughts, leave them down in the comments. But yeah, we'll work more on the builds here in the next video, and yeah, stay righteous, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny! She is like a giraffe!